Hi everyone watching, I just wanted to make a quick point. So before we get into the video discussing my everyday carry on this camera bag, I just wanted to say that I started fresh with YouTube and I made a new YouTube channel. This is now Analog Z. The reason why I chose Analog Z was because I have a really deep passion for film cameras, and I think the look that they provide is really something unique. And you know, if Kodak or Ilford, one of the big manufacturers of film, steps away, it's gonna die, it's gonna go away, and film is just gonna be another thing that's been obsoleted by digital technology. Now don't get me wrong, I have 2 digital cameras. I plan on getting more, and it's pretty much the new standard of the workflow. But film, it's just something that you can't mistake for something else. Like, you can take a shot on film, and it cannot be replicated, at least not without a lot of effort to look if you did it on digital. I think that film and me, it's kind of like the same personality, the same reason why I enjoy old audio equipment or anything else that's vintage. It just has that look or that feel, and I think that's really hard to get these days. So enough of that talking, let's talk about what I carry on my everyday camera bag, what's inside of this and how I use it, and what I think of the gear that I own. It can blend in pretty easily into the background, especially if you're wearing a darker colored clothing. This is why I love to carry this as my primary camera bag when I just have to shoot some outside photography, just walking along the streets, or if I have to be in a location that can't really notice that I have a camera on me. What's even more special is that this camera bag, I can wear it the other way around. What I mean by this is simply I can just wear it like this, and this is the only piece that will be visible. Let's look what I carry inside of this and examine it closer. Alright, so I guess while it's flipped over, I can show you what I carry in the back. This is just a 10,000 milliamp hour portable battery charger. Usually I have my phone plugged in, or if someone else on my team needs to charge, they can plug in as well. Alright, let's flip it over and talk about what I have in this front pocket. Takstar SGC598 shotgun microphone, and it's designed for use with DSLRs, but I believe there's an adapter that you can use and an extension cable if you want to use it on your phone. Audio is normally the most important thing. For video, even if you're just using the auto setting, generally turns out fine. The audience is able to see what you have, and even if you have autofocus on, the picture quality is normally decent. With the shotgun microphone, it's a directional microphone. That means whatever you're pointing it at, the audio is going to be focused on that. I think having extra batteries is always really important. That's why I like to keep 2 or 3 with me at all times. This lens in particular is the 70-210 Nikon f4 to 5.6. It's a mid-range quality zoom, as in the aperture closes down from f4 to 5.6 as you zoom in. But generally, when you're shooting telephoto for outside or whatever, I find it's adequately suitable, and I find myself even stepping down to f8 sometimes. Alright, so as you can see, basically everything we've talked about so far is laid out, and it doesn't take up that much space. The portable battery charger, 2 extra batteries. I figured this bag could even hold 5 or 6. Batteries don't take up a lot of space, but they can provide you with that essential charge needed for the critical moment. The zoom lens that I talked about, the 70-210 Nikon f4 to 5.6 autofocus. Autofocus is generally something that you won't use if you're shooting video, but I find for street photography or other critical aspects when I need to get a shot in focus, I can simply turn on the autofocus, have the camera take over, focus on a shot, and even if I need to, I can just manually switch it over and get that fine tuning if I need to. I can probably get away with using a manual focus lens, but on the street, things can be so hectic that you might just have no time to move the manual focus ring around. You might just pick up the camera and have to shoot. So that's why I like autofocus, and I think definitely if you want to get a zoom lens, autofocus is generally a good way to go. I like to keep things as minimally packed as possible. I can contain the most amount of things in the smallest amount of space and be the most agile as I can. So you can see the camera just fits perfectly around. There's a lot of padding, keeps it safe, but there's no extra space being wasted. Alright, let's take it out. The lens that I have set up today is the Nikon 35-70 autofocus at a 2.8 aperture. So if you notice before I said that other zoom lens was a 4 to 5.6, this guy stays at 2.8 throughout the zoom range. And interestingly about the zoom range, when it's all the way collapsed, it stays at 70 millimeter, and the way it zooms in and out is really interesting. Now it's at 35 millimeter. Simply, it's a push and pull zoom, and others have come up with cruder names to describe its movement, but I think it works just fine. Also, this has a macro function, which is only accessed at the widest zoom setting. So if it's zoomed out all the way, I can press this mode right here and rotate it to M. This is the macro mode, and it does 1 to 4 magnification. Of course, in that mode, the autofocus is disabled, so one can simply switch to manual, and there you go. Generally, as you can see by the outline, I like to stay in manual aperture priority, shutter priority. I sometimes use program automatic if I'm really not sure of the settings which I'm shooting in, like if it's constantly changing lighting or another situation like that. I try to stay away from automatic and automatic without the flash. Scene modes, I never use the custom modes, and effects is basically just a toy mode. Alright, so one thing I want to make a note of is I was using a f1.4 lens in this video, and I apologize if some things were out of focus, but I need to get better lighting in my studio, and 1.4 has really shallow depth of field, so even in this shot, as you can see, a lens or something might be out of focus. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my overview of my standard carry in terms of camera equipment. I have the Nikon 7100, the Takstar shotgun mic, a 35 to 70 f2.8, and the 70 to 210 f4 to 5.6 Nikon autofocus lenses, some extra batteries and a phone charger just to make sure I'm always topped up on a shoot.